I don't think my poor heart, what's left of it, can handle um, another 2022 season.
Hey man, bring on the beer and the high blood pressure medicine, because make sure you got enough for two.
No,
Okay.
hey man, we can bring on the
AJK.
beer, but I'll turn the channel before I get to that high blood pressure shit. I can't fuck that shit, nigga.
What's up? What's happening? What's going on, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Two Peas in a Pod with Tim and Ryan. Before we talk about anything today, I just want to say, if you're watching this episode, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Comment. If y'all got any fan questions or whatever, y'all let us know what y'all want us to talk about the next week. We will appreciate the engagement. The engagement, the love is all appreciated on both ends over here. Ryan,
Factual.
Ryan, how are you doing on this lovely Wednesday evening, my brother?
Man, I'm well. I'm just trying to get to Friday, man, so my head can stop boiling. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, me and you both, man.
other than that, I can't complain. I can't complain.
Man, same here, bro. I got a comment from my boss today. That shit made me feel good.
You're doing good, Tim. Thank you, sir.
Pretty much, he just tapped me on my shoulder. He was like, "Hey, man, just keep on doing a good job." And I'm like, and then most of the
Thank
time
you, sir.
when you're doing a good, I don't know if it's like this, like where you work at, but it's like most of the time when you're doing a good job, they're not gonna tell you you're doing a good job.
Fuck no. They'll tell you what you're not doing, but congratulating you, you're doing a good job. Motherfucker might
Oh, because
bring
they
tears to the nigga eye.
because like if they tell you you're doing a good job, most of the time they feel like you're gonna fuck up.
No, they trying to jinx it. They trying to jinx it.
Yeah, but whatever. We not gonna focus on the corporate shit today. We're gonna focus on something that we both enjoy. Football is
Bifocal.
back. God damn it! It's been a
Mm-hmm.
very eventful last couple of weeks, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. I
Yes, it
mean,
is.
college football.
Yes, sir.
It always happens. You'll have a highly ranked team that shows they shouldn't be ranked that highly. It happens.
Notre Dame.
Florida State.
Well,
It might be Oklahoma. They'll get that shit together.
true. I it's been a very tough watch the last couple of weeks being an Oklahoma fan. It really has.
Just 1 week. I mean, if we
The
if we go
offense, if we talking offensively, it has.
nigga, we lost our left tackle for the year. Our
Yeah.
center is hurt. We already down to our third string fucking players on the wide receiver and the offensive line. We missing three out of our five fucking starters on the line.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's kind of difficult to show your true potential. And these zone read RPOs that worked in 2019. Well, Mr. Latrell, I
You
know
better get your
you
shit
play.
together.
I know you played in Oklahoma. I know you love Oklahoma. You're from the state of Oklahoma. But sir, maybe you know something we don't clearly because you work with the offense and things like that. But usually when an offensive coordinator has a great relationship with his quarterback, the way he does with Jackson Arnold, you usually see better results. Now this could be on the offensive line, but honestly, I haven't seen Jackson Arnold throw 10 plus yards down the field with a completion since the Arizona game.
He had one last game. I think it was Deion Burks or something, but he's to me, he don't look confident throwing the ball down the field. He really don't.
I don't I feel like the boys on autopilot mode. Like, yeah, I'm Jackson Arnold, 5-star, Gatorade player of the year. Gonna go sling this bitch touchdowns. And then the one time last game we playing against Houston, who lost to UNLV by 20 points, and we only beat them by 5 points.
Yeah.
Um
Thanks to a safety. It was three. Thanks to that safety at the end of the game.
yeah,
That's really what
yeah.
won us the fucking game, if we be
Because
honest.
we ended up getting the ball back and we still almost lost the fucking game because I mean the dude was laying on my quarterback and as an offensive lineman, You want to see your O-lineman go protect your quarterback.
Right.
But we can't have that penalty with 35 seconds left in the game. We got to have our composure.
And it's a stupid penalty. Like, bro, keep your fucking helmet on. Especially at this point, you know the game is close. I get it too. Emotions run high. You know, you get frustrated, you get pissed off, but bro, come on, out of all, keep your helmet on. They tell us that in high school. They used to tell us that in high school, like at the end of the game, they know people gonna be pissed off. Some team gonna feel like they got cheated or something. So when you in line shaking hands, keep your helmet on. I'm just saying, man. It's just it's the little shit. The little shit.
I don't get it either. But the beauty of it is we got another game to play, and we better figure it out because Tennessee looks legit. South Carolina looks legit. Texas is legit.
It's legit.
So I mean, it is what it is. I would really love it if we don't have a 2022 season again.
Yeah.
I don't think my poor heart, what's left of it, can handle another 2022 season.
Hey man, bring on the beer and the high blood pressure medicine, because make sure you got enough for two. Okay.
No, hey man, we can bring on the beer, but I'll turn the channel before I get to that high blood pressure shit. I can't fuck that shit, nigga. I sat down and watched LSU 2019 put a mauling on us, and what did I do? I politely turned it to another channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Sooner born, sooner bred, and I die, I'll be sooner dead. So ain't nothing changing over here. Just I would like us to be in a position, okay, if we lose, can it be close? Can we be competitive? You know what I'm saying?
Can we score more than 14? Can we score more than 21 or 14 points on the offense?
We can't go. First of all, what are we, like something horrible to start the season with? What we are 4-25 on third down,
something like that. Yeah.
I've seen particular games where we were that bad, but individual games. But to start the season, this is for 2 games.
Yeah.
And Jackson Arnold is only passed for. I mean, there was an interesting stat where they put Quinn Ewers' numbers and Jackson Arnold's numbers side by side, and they weren't that far off.
Yeah, but the difference is Jackson Arnold. Let's be honest. That Michigan team is not the same team, but Jackson Arnold has played. He played a tougher team last week, so I get those stats as well too.
That Michigan team has lost 13 players, which was the most at any team in college football this past season, to the NFL draft. Head coach, which I want to talk about that at some point, maybe not this podcast, but go check out that documentary on Netflix.
Son Steeler.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and the Ohio State fan pointed out a very interesting stat that I thought about as well. But when have you seen a head coach leave a program right after they win a national title?
Yeah,
in the midst of allegations.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and then when they asked him about it when he did a press conference or whatever, pretty much tried to make it seem like he really didn't know what was going on. Motherfucker, you knew exactly what the fuck was going on. When he was in the college football playoff, like what 3 of the last, he's been in like 3 of the last college football playoff, and he finally made it to the national championship last year.
I mean, they got skull drugged by Georgia, which, can't fault them for that. Had a crazy shootout with TCU. And then, an all-time classic with Alabama.
Right.
Steamroll Washington to get the national title. And then the number one thing I'm taking away from, that documentary is every time, I forgot the dude's name. The sign still a dude. But every time he says something, Harbaugh or Sharon, the new head coach, their ears are right there.
Right.
And they're yelling out to the defense. And all of a sudden, the play was solved. But it's one thing to know what they're gonna run.
Don't spoil it for me because I haven't had the chance to watch it yet.
This is all I'm gonna say. It's one thing to know what they're gonna run. It's another thing to have the right play call and the right personnel and the right players to stop it.
Yep.
You can know all day what you're gonna do, or you're gonna stop it. Like Alabama with Derrick Henry, he's getting the ball.
Yeah, but what you gonna do to stop it? Nope. Nope. But yeah, man, we do have Tulane next week, and quite honestly, with the way they play Kansas State, taking them down to the wire, what was it, 34 to 27?
Yep.
Yeah, they
had to come back to win.
Yeah, we got to get it together. We got to get it together. Moving on, we have to talk about Colorado because, quite honestly, I think I may need to backtrack the statement that I made predicting them to make the college football playoff because right now it really ain't looking like that. Let me read off these stats, bro. The first game of the season, they beat North Dakota State 26-31, allowed 449 yards of offense, 292 passing yards, 157 rushing yards. Granted, I tried to give that win when they beat North Dakota State. I tried to give them, and it being a close game, tried to give them a little bit of grace because North Dakota State, they've won 5 of the last 7 national FBS national championships or something like that. But they're not a team that's not a Power 5 school. So I don't feel like that. And I said that I'm like,
they have a history of beating Power 5 schools.
But that too. But I tried to give them some grace. I tried to get them some grace that game. So I'm like, okay, maybe because the caliber of team that they playing, that this team has all these championships or whatnot. Maybe they're a lot tougher than we thought. Then they go out and they look like what the fuck they look like against Nebraska. They lost 28-10. Gave up 334 total yards, 149 rushing yards, 185 passing yards, and Shedeur was sacked 6 times. Now, granted,
I think that's 7 or 8 on the season so far.
Granted, I will give them this: they held Nebraska scoreless the entire second half, so I will give them that much.
That's the only thing. I mean, just like North Dakota State, they didn't score at all in the second half either.
Right.
That's the only thing I would give them. But Shiloh was hurt.
Yep.
You got your quarterback dissing his team already.
They beat the fuck up.
You know what I'm saying? But when people try to take that statement Shedeur said and try to twist it, what they asked him was, how you feel about a true freshman quarterback outplaying you? And then Shedeur said, well, how many times
did he get hit? Yep.
Did he get hit? You know what I'm saying? So let's contextualize the situation before we start opening our mouths and saying, oh, he's a terrible leader. He doesn't care about the team. Let's just talk about this thing before we get all butthurt and things about that. I mean, but it's frustrating because now you see Shedeur could have legitimately went anywhere and probably been a lot more successful than he's been.
Him and Travis.
Yeah,
him and Travis.
I mean, but Deion, I don't want to say he's selling wolf tickets, but you know what I'm saying? I was believing, especially around this time last year. I'm like, okay. I just wanted him to get bowl eligible, and then I wanted to assess it. But then that loss to Stanford, which Stanford was god awful last year, and that loss to Arizona State was god awful last year, and then them playing USC how they did, but Alex Grinch was the defensive coordinator, and I know
that speaks for itself.
Yeah, that speaks for itself. So I mean, I don't remember what I said, but I don't think I said. I might have had them being 6-6. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
you may have said it in the previous episode. I don't really remember. Me, I kind of overloaded. I kind of let my mouth overload my ass a little bit, and I did say that Colorado was going to make the 12-team college football playoff. Right now, it doesn't look like that, but I do want to point this out. Ryan, would you believe me that Colorado Shedeur has actually been sacked less through the first 2 games than he was last year?
Yeah, but I mean,
So
also
there is that. There is that. I don't know if it's maybe because he learned to get rid of the ball a lot quicker, or he's not, running into sacks like he was last year. But he does.
he
They do
still hold on
have
to
that.
that ball too long.
He does, especially knowing that his offensive line is not that great. That's another thing too that really is disappointing. It's like Dion was definitely selling wolf tickets about this offensive line because he made it seem like this offensive line was completely revamped and they're great and they're amazing and they're awesome. I can't tell. Like I think he got an offensive line recruit from Oklahoma, not Oklahoma, Alabama, one from Georgia, Ohio State, or something like that. And it's like now I'm starting to see why they transferred to Colorado and wasn't playing at the school that they was originally playing at. I'm just saying.
Fam, what I would love for them to do is to stop that docu series they doing, because I feel like they showing a tad bit too much.
Yeah,
Now
probably.
I understand every team has their own media team and gives you somewhat of a glimpse of what's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
But I feel like they show a tad bit too much. Too much of the drills, give you too much of the concepts. But like, no offense, and I'm a Dion believer.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? But Coach Prime and Deion Sanders are two different things. But when I was looking at that team about 5-6 weeks ago, watching these vlogs, I'm like, they look like a really big high school team. If I'm basing it off the defensive line and offensive line and things like that. And I'm not trying to diss them, obviously. I mean, this might be a 3 or 4 year thing before Dion's out the door.
Yeah.
And I hate that we have to talk like that, but just being realistic with the situation. And then looking at the Big 12 this year, there is no cupcake. They
No,
might be the cupcake.
after this week, that's when the gauntlet starts. That's when that's when they really get into the meat and potatoes of the
Who
Big 12.
who does Colorado have this week?
I haven't.
Oh, Colorado State. Yeah, the rivalry game. It's
And that's
always
gonna be interesting too because we saw what happened in that game last year.
and they're away. They're not
And
at
then
home.
granted, if you Colorado State, you got to watch these last two games and get the licking your lips. And if you Colorado, you need to take what happened to you last week and you need to all that anger and aggression. I hope y'all put that shit into practice this week. I mean, we're gonna be watching, and I hope Colorado can get it together. And then another thing too. Travis, he may not say it, but Travis wants some get back because he didn't really get to play in that game last year because of what that defensive back pulled that dirty ass move. Yeah.
That dirty hit. And I will say this though. Colorado truthfully only got blown out last year in one game, the Oregon game.
Yeah.
They were competing in pretty much all their games, except for maybe the UCLA game. So with that being said, there is still hope. Honestly, let's be for real. The ceiling for this team, if they can get the 6 wins, consider this fucking season a dub.
Win. Yeah, I would agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
would agree.
I mean, dog, like what? That was like the second play. I mean, you looked right, you stared right, then you threw right, and it was a pick six.
Right.
Then when it was 14-0, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Then they couldn't run the ball
at all. They ain't been able to run the ball the last two games.
Nebraska's D line, they was able to run the ball a tad bit on North Dakota State, but they had Nebraska's D line looking like the Chase Young, Nick and Jimmy Bosa Ohio State D line. You know what I'm saying?
No, when they played North, I knew the offense was gonna be good the first game, but when they came out in that defense and that running back ran that took that wheel route, what was it, like 40, 50 yards? I'm like, yep, I know what kind of fucking game this is gonna be. This is the same shit as last year. So
it's sad, bro. It's really sad.
It's sad because like I agree with you. I like Coach Prime. I like Dion. I do agree that those are two different people, and I want to see him successful as a head coach. But since coming to Colorado, he ain't really showed me much. Granted, I know he didn't really have a whole lot to work with last year. I still remember that tweet that somebody made when they was like, is 2023 Colorado is gonna do we think 2023 Colorado is gonna be better than 2019 LSU? that shit didn't age very well.
How many niggas on the NFL from that team?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, it's 2 on Colorado, but I know right now it's gone after this season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not 22.
Possibly 3 because I like Horn.
Yeah.
I do like Horn.
I just feel like he simply hasn't had enough catches.
He has.
I mean, it's hard to get catches when offensive line can't block.
I also feel like, I mean, and correct me if I'm not necessarily correct me if I'm wrong, but tell me if you agree. I also feel like that teams could like, because whether you like it or not, Shador is definitely. I definitely feel like Shador is still a round 1 talent. I also feel like some teams are going to conspire against Shador simply because of all the the media attention that Deion was getting, and because Colorado hasn't had the success that everybody was expecting them to have. So I feel like some teams might conspire against Shador, and he may not go till about the 3rd or 4th round, just because.
Yeah, now I mean, now it's looking like 2nd, 3rd round now.
Yep.
I mean, like
but it's still early.
If he's a late first rounder, that's because he's going to a system like Shador. I mean, it wouldn't happen, but it would be great for his career. But if he got drafted to the Chiefs for a second, just to further learn how to be a quarterback,
and then go somewhere else. Yep.
Yeah, then go somewhere else. Yeah. But right now, I mean, I would suggest Sean Payton, but he's gonna try his damnedest to make sure Bo Nix work.
Oh yeah,
That's his last chance. The Bo Nix
yeah.
situation better work, motherfucker. Because you didn't
yeah.
pick the quarterback twice. But hey, it's looking crazy in Norman. It's looking crazy in Boulder right now. So got to figure it out.
Now, do you feel like it's still too early in the season to figure out like who really is the best team and who is the most? I mean, obviously we see who the most well put together teams are, but I do because I feel like Texas. Everybody had I'm not gonna say these are Division I schools, but everybody played a more inferior opponent week 1. So I mean, we just kind of saw what teams are gonna look like week 1. Week 2, you had a couple schools that played inferior opponents. So you had Texas who played what was it, number 9 Michigan. We can all agree that this is not the same Michigan team. So
we can all agree they moved Michigan up in the rankings just to make Texas look better.
That too. I would agree. I would agree that too. But so far, I think the best teams that we have seen is Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, and Georgia. Out of those 4 teams, which team do you think looks the best?
This is what I will say. Right now, the clear-cut favorite in the Big Ten is looking like either Ohio State, Penn State, or USC right now. Now, if we break it down with the SEC, you got Georgia, you got Bama, you got Texas, the other 3 schools you mentioned. It's like Georgia's established, check. Alabama's established, check. I mean, Texas has a 3-game skid where they have to play us, and then they have to play Georgia right afterwards. I forget who they played before us. So that's going to really, which is all this is going to start next week.
Right.
So that is really going to give us an idea of who Texas is, what they are made of, and if they're legit. If they compete with Georgia, if they make Georgia have their starters out there deep into the 4th quarter, that's a moral victory. I'm not even saying Texas doesn't even have to win that game. They don't even have to win that game. They can still make the SEC championship game because they're probably going to run the table. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you look at their schedule, because they have a pretty favorable schedule.
And then if I'm being 100 right now, nobody on their schedule, including Oklahoma, is looking like they can even threaten them.
Right.
So I would agree. I mean, it's looking like those are the top 4 teams, and then we still don't talk about Ole Miss because I mean, it's Ole Miss, and then still got Tennessee. Don't know what's going on in Florida. Don't know what's going on in Mississippi State. Can A&M ever figure it out? I mean, like, I don't understand why people rave about A&M every year. Every year, it's the same result.
Because they're one of them teams that's just they're in the SEC. I think a lot of it still has to do with the whole Johnny Manziel shit.
Tim,
So I'm just saying, I know
Tim,
this has been over like 10 years, right?
Tim.
Ryan.
They have only won one conference title in their whole existence.
Yeah.
One conference title in their whole existence. That was in 1998. So you mean tell me from 1998 to now, you got a Heisman winner that was, for lack of a better expression, on dope, and false hope every year. You made Jimbo Fisher the highest paid non-working motherfucker in human history.
Let's not mention the number one recruiting class that they had last year.
That I don't think that was last year, a couple years ago. That completely didn't do dog shit. I mean, I can relate because look at OU's 2019 recruiting class.
Yeah, I would agree.
One of them niggas is still in college. The other nigga is on Instagram trying to figure the fuck out what he's gonna do with life, and the other motherfucker is playing backup in New Orleans.
Fair
It's
enough.
kind of, I don't know. These things are just so interesting, but that's less about A&M. So the SEC is the SEC. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? The Big 12, question mark. Right now, the ACC, don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but it's looking like finally the U is going to take over.
I hope
Which
so.
I've been wanting to see since 2017.
And while we on that topic, bro, free will, free hot dog, free Copy Supreme, man. You need to be out here enjoying this shit with us. I'm not even a Miami fan, but for you, then that's for you, big dog. That's for you. I hope that. Go ahead.
My favorite NFL player is Ray Lewis, so I can never hate Miami.
So, all right. So we gonna move on to the
Even
NFL.
though,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
even though Jimmy Johnson was head coach, couldn't find a way to whoop y'all ass.
You ain't never gonna let that one go. I get that though.
I mean, bro, that's a couple national titles. Probably be 8, 9, 10. We figure out the LSU game, no 3.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Excuse me. God damn. I ain't even had no beer.
This nigga had taco salad or something.
No, I just killed one. I guess I just killed the whole bottle of water.
Yeah, it's a fucking water main break, so I gotta load up on these bad boys.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna transition over into the NFL. We are going to do. I came up with this segment from the original podcast named PPP. So with that, I came up with a new segment called Patience, Panic, or Probably. We're not going to break down every game, but we're going to talk about
which is way too fucking early in the NFL season.
I know. I know,
but this is fun. This is fun because we can see, 6-8 weeks from now, were we right?
Well, yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna cover every game. We're gonna go through some of the games and some of the things that happened in week 1, and you're gonna tell me whether you should have patience with this situation, whether you should panic, or whether this is a probably or for sure or whatever. But the trick is you only get 45 seconds, so you got to break all that down and make your response 45 seconds.
Patience, panic,
or probably. Like. You should panic in a situation like, it's time to whatever. Like, panic. You hit the panic button. Patience as in give it time. Like, it's not ready to, you just give it time. It's not a short thing yet. And probably meaning that, it's a short, not necessarily a short thing, but it's looking like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. So you ready, Ryan?
I'm ready.
All right. So first up, obviously, we had the Packers and the Eagles on Friday night. Unfortunately, Jordan Love suffered an MCL sprain. He did look, before he suffered an MCL sprain, he did look really good. He looked really, really good.
He looked like that $100 million quarterback.
Yes, sir. Now with the MCL sprain, like it was lucky to be an MCL sprain. Now with the MCL sprain, do you feel like the Packers are in trouble with this QB situation? Malik Willis will be the backup. I want you to tell me whether you should have patience, whether you should panic, or whether it's a probably situation. Your 45 seconds starts now.
Look, they being patient, but they low key panicking because it's probably gonna be them not even in playoff contention. Like Love will have to come back and fuck around and have to ball the fuck out, and they have to go undefeated. So they being patient, but they panicking because it's probably fucked up. This nigga don't know the offense yet. He just got there. He ain't been there. He might have been there a month now. Hey man, like I like Malik Willis, especially that year he had Liberty. I'm like, yo, black QB, let's go. But just get out there and see what the man can do.
All right. Right on, Ron, right on. So my 45 seconds starts now. I'm gonna go. I say have patience. I say patience in the situation simply because I feel like Malik Willis with the Packers. I feel like he's in a much better situation, in a much more sure situation. I feel like this Packers team is he's a lot more talented, and Jordan Love's only gonna be out for a month. And in this schedule, the Packers have the Colts, the Titans, the Vikings, the Rams, the Cardinals, and then they got the Cardinals and then the Texans. If you can squeeze out 1 or 2 wins in that situation, that's still a win. Jordan Love will come back and the team, and Jordan Love will come back with the team not being completely bad. So yeah, I think in this situation, I think this is more of I think be patient. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button yet.
3 or 4. That's kind of reasonable.
Yep. I would agree. You fuck with this though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little 45-second segment. I like this. This was just literally, bro. I came up with this shit on the fly. Like I was thinking about this today at work. I'm like, damn, it's a little later in the week, so we're not gonna be able to cover everything, but we gonna cover the some of the big stories. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Next up, the Giants lose 28-3 to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold went 19 of 24 for 208 yards, and I think he had, I want to say 2 or 3 touchdowns. The Giants gave up over 100 yards rushing to this so-called rebuilt defense that they spent so much money on. Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and I think Dexter Lawrence, and they still managed to give up over 100 yards rushing to Aaron Jones. Daniel Jones went 22 of 42 for 186 yards. Ryan, do you think it's time to pay? Do you think you should have patience, time to panic, or is this a problem, or is this shit probably done? Your 45 seconds starts now.
If you watch the Hard Knocks, their whole aura is this shit is probably done. And here's why. You had that fluky ass year where Daniel Jones looked like Eli for a half a second, and Saquon had his first or second healthy year with the Giants, and they made the playoffs at 10-6. Since then, they paid him, and they've regretted it ever since. So what's going to happen is that coach is probably getting fired, and then the year after that, Daniel Jones is gone, and then they restart the tire fire all over.
Okay, I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. All right. I'm going to say it is time to fucking panic because it's not going to get no fucking easier for y'all. Next up, I mean, I'm not going to say a gimme game, because we're going to talk about this team later. You got the Commanders, then you got the Browns, then you got the Cowboys, the Seahawks, and the Bengals. Now, we all know what the Browns and Cowboys defense is, especially the Cowboys, because of what the fuck happened to you last year. Okay? Y'all was you made the decision to pay him over Saquon, and you saw what Saquon looked like in Philadelphia. He ain't there no more. So y'all are in trouble. Y'all need to figure this shit out fast. I don't think it's completely the head coach, but y'all definitely got a problem at QB. And as you can see, Malik Neighbors is definitely not having a good time in the NFL so far.
I go back to this all the time. When Daniel Jones got drafted, For real? What the fuck they picked me for?
Like you said, y'all better stop fucking with these basketball school quarterbacks. These fucking blue blood quarterbacks.
Hey man, in basketball. Hey man, then when Malik got drafted. All right, fuck.
Well, he even said, I mean, I prefer not to go to the Giants, but
before he even got drafted, he said, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? If it be God's will, then I go anywhere else. I'll be so happy, Jesus. Please, please."
Well, let's hope he can figure it out. At this point, I say fuck it. Put Drew Lock in. He can't do no worse than what the fuck Daniel Jones is doing. At least we know Drew Lock gonna throw the goddamn ball. May not get to you. Well, I can't say that because Drew Lock actually had a pretty decent year towards the end of last year when Geno Smith got hurt. He couldn't get them to the playoffs. I mean, the season was kind of already gone for them, but I say fuck it at this point. Y'all obviously see Daniel Jones is not the fucking answer, so still early though, so we'll see. But for me, it's time to panic. Hit the panic beat.
Don't
hit the
panic.
Fucking panic.
It's organic.
Moving on to one of the more exciting topics that I couldn't wait to get on here and talk about. Caleb Williams. The Chicago Bears win in despite of Caleb Williams going 14-29 for 93 yards. We kind of know where this is going, but Ryan, you think patience, panic, or is this a probably situation that the Bears and Caleb Williams are not going to be very good this year?
They being patient, but I wouldn't panic just yet. But he did only throw for 93 yards.
Yeah.
And if they don't get that turnover for a touchdown, I don't know. And they got to go play Houston on Sunday. But eventually this situation is probably going to work out.
Right.
Just not this year, probably.
I like that. I'm going to agree with you and say patience. I mean, it was his first game, and I'm kind of glad that he sees now that, bro, you can't do all that scrambling and shit that you was doing in college. That shit was you was able to do it in the preseason because you was playing against threes and motherfuckers that was fighting for their spots. So you was able to do it in the preseason. Bro, you are going against pass rushers that run fucking 4.4s and 4.3s. All that scrambling out of tackles, and these are professionals. All that scrambling out of tackles and shit, that shit ain't gonna work. I think they're going to get it. I think they're going to get it together a little later in the season, but they do have a tough schedule coming up. They got the Texans, they got the Colts, the Rams, and the Panthers. They can maybe be 1-5, 1-4 by October.
There ain't no wins. That offensive line, it's okay. It's not horrendous like it was when we had Fields there that was at one point in time top 5 in rushing.
That's true.
That line was that bad.
And I hope I hope people kind of see that I'm awake. It's a long season. I'm awake.
You talking about the fingernails?
No, not the fingernails. The fucking head coach. I'm awake. I'm awake.
Oh yeah, he's not. He's not the guy. That's
I've said it time and time and time again. Where the Bears are trying to get to with this team, I don't feel like the head coach is the person that's going to get them there. So,
I mean, do defensive quarterbacks work now in today's NFL?
Defensive quarterbacks or defensive coaches?
I mean, my bad. Defensive.
If you got the
coaches,
I think they work if you have the right coaching staff. Like, I mean, look at D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans is a defensive guy. He has Bobby Slowick.
He got a playoff win.
But when he left and went to Houston, he took the guy that was the pass game coordinator on the same team that he was playing, on the same team that he was coaching the defense for. He took him with him and went down to Houston. Bobby Slowick was San Francisco's pass game coordinator. So when he told Bobby, "Hey, bro, you coming with me." So he grabbed Bobby Slowick and they went down to Houston together and they were doing great things.
I mean, they stacked on both sides of the ball. They got good really fast.
Yeah.
This might be the team to get to that AFC Championship game because right now Cincinnati, my Joe Shiesty pick was
because it's coming up.
I don't know.
It's coming up. All right. So next up, I know a topic that we were talking about a little earlier. So John Harbaugh won his Chargers debut 22-10 against the Raiders. 176 rushing yards, 140 passing yards. Are you having patience? Is it time to panic? Or is it a probably that this is a winning formula this season in the NFL?
I mean, you gotta be patient because they won.
Okay.
They won the game, and it's not like because usually he has to go find the quarterback. He's got in a situation already have the quarterback. So then we continue to put shit around him, tweak the offense, do whatever we got to do to get this right. So this is looking like a 3, maybe 2-year project, and that they still signs.
Maybe, maybe.
Just ask him.
It's probably easier in the NFL because they got a little more time in between plays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to say have patience in the situation. I mean, they do have a favorable schedule coming up. They have the Panthers next week. Then they got us, which you're not doing that shit against us. They got the Chiefs. They have the Broncos after the bye. They have the Cardinals, and then they have the Saints. And when you look at their schedule in its entirety, they do have a pretty favorable schedule for them to, play like this. But we obviously see this league as a pass-first league, and running the ball, having more rushing yards than passing yards, I don't know how well that shit is going to work out for you once you get to the playoffs. I do got to play them fucking monsters at the top of the AFC West twice this year, so good luck with that. But I am happy to see J.K. Dobbins. He looked like he was back in midseason form from when he was with Baltimore, so it was quite the sight to see, man. I like this. This should make you think on the fly.
Yeah.
So next up, the Washington Commanders lose 20-37 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jaden Daniels actually looked quite impressive. 17-24, 184 yards, and 88 rushing yards. Ryan, you're going patience, probably, or panic on this Commanders team and Jaden Daniels. Your 45 seconds starts now.
I mean, yeah, I go patient because I mean, he showed promise. He protected himself. I mean, if you could do that shit, is this Vic or is this Lamar?
I think it
might be Randall Cunningham 2.0.
Okay. I'm gonna say
I'd have patience.
My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off like this.
No, you got it.
I'm also gonna say patience, and also probably because I agree with you. Jaden showed a lot of flashes, and I think he looked pretty good. I think this game was a lot of seeing what he could and couldn't do. Because he made some pretty good decisions. He does. I think he needs to work on protecting himself, working on that slide, because it was he took one hit where they got his helmet knocked off, and I think that's when he realized, oh shit, this is the NFL. They also, they have a fairly favorable schedule. They got the Giants next week. They got the Bengals, the Cardinals, and then the Browns. So, and I like he actually meshes well with that offense. So if he can figure it out as the season goes, I do stand on my prediction that I think the Washington Commanders could steal a wild card spot.
Okay, I mean they are playing in the NFC East, and you already got two, juggernauts, and the Eagles in Dallas. Well, fuck Dallas, but I mean, and the Giants are they're the Giants. So every now and again, it's 3 of them. That's good.
Yep, I would agree. All right, up next, the team that you were talking about earlier. The Patriots beat the Bengals on Sunday, 16-10. Joe Burrow went 21 of 29 for 164 yards. Granted, there was no T. Higgins, but the Bengals only gave up 1 sack. Ryan, you have patience? Is it time to panic, or is it probably with this Bengals team that they can still make the playoffs? Your 45 seconds starts now.
They panicking, but on the outside they looking patient because this has a chance to probably be fucked up. But I mean, Chase wasn't there.
Chase was there.
No, I'm talking about training camp. Burrow, he gotta trust that hand again, and it's looking fucked up. And then how about my man Ramondre Stevenson running all over that motherfucking defense as Patriots get their first win on the season?
I like that. So here I'm gonna say patience, but panic at the same time. Cause like, all right, bro, you can't keep starting the season off with a loss. I get it. The Bengals start slow. And this is another thing I don't fucking like, bro. Joe Burrow has not been good the last, like, he didn't play well before he got hurt last season, and he didn't play well this game. But y'all still got him ranked over Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, and they didn't look great. They did not look good at all. This is why I feel like guys need to play in the preseason, because it didn't look like it looked like this offense had no familiarity. And you can tell that they are struggling without having Joe Mixon in that fucking backfield.
Can't run the ball.
They can't run the
They
ball.
can't win.
They can't run the ball. Don't see. And I agree with everybody else. I mean, when Joe Burrow don't have 3 elite wide receivers out there, he looks like a normal fucking quarterback.
That's everybody.
But
which is why going back to the Daniel Jones situation is kind of fucked up, because who is he throwing to?
Yeah.
The whole time he was there. So throw that out there.
They also got a pretty, I mean, I'm not gonna say favorable, but they got a decent schedule coming up. Obviously, I mean, they got the Chiefs. They have the Chiefs. They have the Chiefs on Sunday. Then they got the Commanders. Then they got the Panthers. Then they got the Ravens and the Giants. So if you can probably make it through this 3-3 and still, put yourself right there, with the, at the top, fighting for possibly a wild card spot. And the last portion of this segment, the Cowboys beat the Browns 33-17. Right before this game, Dak Prescott got paid 4 years, $240 million, $60 million a year. And we didn't get to talk about it last week. CD got 4 years, $136 million. Deshaun Watson went 24 of 45, 169 for 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
And he got $230 million.
$230 million guaranteed. Granted, the Cleveland Browns were missing 2 offensive linemen, and Deshaun Watson was sacked 6 times.
And the guy they traded has been playing well ever since. Well,
yes, sir.
Once he got to his 3rd team, but yeah.
So, Ryan, is it time? Should you have patience? Is this probably what we're going to see, or is it really time to hit the panic button on this Browns team and Mr. Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, I'm panicking, because it's like, what the fuck? I mean, it all does depend when Chubb comes back. I mean, they were playing against Dallas, who does have a good defensive line. So we really couldn't see them run the ball like that. But damn, bro, can you even throw 10 yards downfield? I mean, but then he had Micah and then that 2-year boy in his ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, they panicking. They panicking. Spill's panicking. Anakin rambling.
Panicking. No, you're all right. I'm gonna say be patient, but that's the last time I'm gonna say that with Deshaun Watson. Like, bro, I've been one of his biggest advocates, and I want to see him do well. But dog, this is year 3. This is year 3.
And you played 13 games.
You don't even look like you did as a rookie, bro. You look better than this as a fucking rookie. They paid you $230 million to at least get them to possibly the AFC Championship game. Right now, it's not looking like you can even get them to the playoffs. They did get you an extra wide receiver in Jerry Jeudy. I get it. Chubb is not there. You're missing 2 offensive linemen, but bro, you got to do a way better job of getting this shit figured out. Like, even, I don't know if you noticed, even when he had time to throw it back there, he threw like 3 or 4 deep balls. I'm like, bro, who the fuck are you throwing it to? Because he was lobbing them bitches all the way out of bounds.
This is why you need 4 preseason games.
And you need to play in at least 3 of them.
Yeah, starters play in the first half of 2 of them, third half of 1 of them, and then sometimes they play the whole fucking game in the last one.
I mean, I will give them this. They do have a pretty favorable schedule coming up as well. They got the Jags next week. Well, this week they got the Giants, the Commanders, and then the Eagles. So this is another team that they could possibly be 4-2 or 3-3. But Deshaun, bro, I'm done. If you play like this next week, dog, I'm done with your ass, bro. I'm done. I'm done.
All right, man. It's just week 1.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give, bro. You $230 million. I'll lose my fucking patience too. Fuck that.
I'm also saying though, like now he only played 13 games, 2 years being there, but before he got hurt last year, he was finally finding his fucking stride.
That too, I would
Then he
agree.
got hurt, so damn. And then with the bullshit that he went through, the nigga hasn't even. He's so far out of touch with football. He's still trying to get back.
Yeah, probably mental. Like I look, man. This ain't me attacking you as a person. Like whatever you got going through in your personal life, handle that shit. I'm not gonna comment on that. We are here to talk about you as we are to talk about football and football players. So I'm not I'm whatever you, whatever. That's
I'm just saying all the things he's had to deal with. I'm not saying anything.
no. I get what you're
You
saying,
know,
and I agree. I would agree.
but
Now,
it's
now that I don't know if you saw that. Now they're talking about like because there was more accusations. The statement that got put out, it's fucking weird. It don't honestly, and this ain't me saying that the person is lying, but the two I can't put reading that story. I'm not able to put two and two together because it does not make sense. So and then now with that, they're saying that if this is true and he's actually it's found out that he did do this shit, they could void his contract and release him. So for his sake, I hope it's not.
it's fucked up, man.
Yeah. But going on,
Moving along.
yeah, moving on to more positive. Rest of the if you didn't watch any football last Sunday, the rest of the games on the rest of the games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Kansas City won the season opener and their home opener 27-20 against Baltimore. Pittsburgh, my Steelers, we outlasted the Atlanta Falcons 18-10. The Rams lost to the Detroit Lions 26-20 in overtime. The Dolphins beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 20-17. The Cincinnati Bengals lost to the Patriots 10-16. The Buffalo Bills lost to the Cardinals. The Buffalo Bills beat the Cardinals 34-28. The Houston Texans won their season opener, spoiled the Colts home opener 29-17. The Saints thrashed the Panthers 47-10. The Cowboys beat the Browns 33-17, and the Jets beat the 49ers. What was it, 32 to I think that was 17 as well. I didn't, my bad job, did not write that score down, so I apologize. Now, before we, move on to quick picks or anything, we got to talk about a very serious topic or subject that went on during NFL opening Sunday. This whole Tyreek Hill situation, man. Obviously, Tyreek was pulled over for speeding, and he, dealt with a situation with police officers that, honestly, I think me and Ryan have both experienced something like this. Ryan, did you watch the whole video?
Mm-hmm. For the body cam?
Yeah. Like, what is your assessment of the situation, and how did you feel about it?
First and foremost, once I found out more information, I found out those police officers in fact knew exactly who he was, and apparently he was like on the street of the Dolphins facility.
Right.
So they knew who he was when he was going. So he was being targeted. He was being attacked. People were trying to say that Tyreek was in the wrong. You can't like walk up to somebody's window and bam on the door like that, like you trying to break his window and think he's gonna be all cooperative. If anything, he's hesitant to even fuck with y'all because he don't know what y'all doing. I mean, but as a black man in America, that's why it's important that we try to stay clean as possible, not have anything in the car, have the proper documentation, your plates registered and good. So above and beyond, which I'm not saying that was the situation with Tyreek. I believe he was speeding, but it just goes to show you that no matter how far you get in life or how much of an example you try to make in the community or whatever you do, as long as you're black, you will always be a nigga, no matter what you do. I have been through situations similar to this. It's always an uncomfortable feeling, especially when you're on a dark street and you're not knowing what their intentions are, what they want to do. of what they're looking for. I honestly think they might have thought he was under the influence or drunk or something, so they were just trying to find stuff. But they didn't have to rough him up like that. But usually, in a situation where you see somebody pulled over, at least in the area I live in, city I live in, and they have to have they call a second car, is because they on some bullshit. So, but these was multiple police officers. So, shouts out to Tyreek for getting out that situation and then going and get an 80-yard touchdown later on, a couple hours after that.
So when I watched the video, and it's in when the story first broke, like I kind of figured that it's probably speeding more than likely. It's game day, it's the first game. It's first game of the year, so more than likely Tyreek was either running late. So he's probably because he was running late. It's probably aggravated because they're on a time schedule. So he's probably aggravated. So I can kind of understand why Tyreek responded the way that he did. I'm not sitting up here saying that he was in the right or anything like that, because I've had really bad run-ins with police officers as well. In that situation, especially when you got dark tint, granted, I don't agree with the way the officer walked up and just started banging on his window. Like, bro, don't do that shit. I wouldn't want you to do it on my car. But I get the whole safety of it, but everything that they did, they didn't have to do that. That, to me, I feel like that officer had it in his mind what he was going to do, how he was going to respond. And this ain't me sitting up here saying that all police officers are bad, because I don't think all police officers, I don't think all cops are bad. But like you said, I agree. As a black man, you really have to watch how you respond and how you act or whatever whenever you're dealing with the police, because you never know. You might get one of them. You might get a cop he's having a bad day. Him and his wife is arguing, or he's having a bad day at work, and he may just decide, fuck it, I'm gonna take it out on this dude. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you even saw with the cop when he was like, matter of fact, fuck it, get out the car. Like, he was like, if you don't let the window down, I'm taking you out the car. Then he was like, matter of fact, you know what, get out the car. The way they dragged him out the car, that shit was unnecessary. That shit was completely unnecessary. I also don't think it takes. We kind of saw the same thing with the George Floyd situation. I don't feel like it takes. He wasn't fighting him, and he said he was getting out the car, so it don't take 4 or 5 officers to detain nobody. Then the way they snatched him and just kind of threw him on the curb like that, he was telling you, I just had surgery on my knee, and he's telling them stop crying. Like, okay, what if you had to tore this man's knee up again? You still gonna go home happy and healthy at night. You still gonna go home happy, healthy, able to take care of your family. Granted, I know Tyreek is a very wealthy man, but still, like, what if y'all really would have hurt that man? Then what? Then what? And like he said, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Because the officers definitely knew who that was. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. And then they went after Calais Campbell and the other who was it, Jonnu Smith, and they told him, like, bro, I'm not doing nothing wrong. He's walking up.
Park here.
Give me your license, otherwise I'm taking you to this cop had every intentions of doing what he did. Mm-hmm. You can just by his demeanor, the way he talked to him, like, and I know cops, I know police officers. Not all of them are like that, but they've all told me the same thing. Like, when they're innocent, tensions are high. Tensions are high. They have anxiety, but that was too much. And you ask any level-headed police officer, they're probably gonna tell you the same thing. That could have went. All that shit was unnecessary. It didn't have to go that far. It really did not have to go.
All you had to do was just knock on the window with your hand. He would have rolled down the window. What's the problem, sir? You would and we get your license and registration, and we run it. That was not like that at all. No, it did not have any intentions on having a conversation or making your quota, giving the ticket, whatever it is you were doing. You knew exactly who that was, and that's what you wanted to do. I mean, it's disgusting, man. And like how the world is today, or is getting today, this makes you hesitant and want to do anything outside your house sometimes. Yeah, because it's just crazy. You don't know how people are gonna act.
Like, man, all it took was simple. Hey, man, like, I gotta write you a ticket. You were speeding. I know you got a game to get to. Just slow down. Now, granted, Tyreek, as a black man, Tyreek kind of knows better. Like, he should not have responded like that. Granted, I get his frustration.
Sometimes the number one reason why when you see a black man in those situations and they spaz out like that is because they honestly are not doing nothing.
Yep.
They're not doing anything. So that even pisses you off even more. I gotta go through this situation. And on top of that, I'm not doing anything. And on top of that, you're trying to make it seem like as if I did do something. And all I'm doing is trying to talk to you like a decent individual. Now, sometimes it's hard. It's hard to remain calm in those high pressure situations like that, because you know what I'm saying. You may not be having a great day too.
Yep.
And that's the difference. A lot of time when we see shit pop off, I feel like most of the time.
I would agree. And like I said, once again, this is not a video bashing police officers or anything like that, because I've had, believe me, I've dealt with some really horrible people that carry a badge. And I've dealt with some really good people that carry a badge. I mean, granted, I've had more good interactions than I've had bad, but we've all ran into that one cop that just either he's having a bad day or he's dealing with some stuff outside of work. So fuck it. He's just gonna come to work and he's gonna take it out on everybody else. He's gonna take it out on the people that he's choosing to fuck with for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it is what it is. But we're gonna keep it positive, man. Let's move on to something a little more positive. Next up, we have week 2 picks. Rapid fire week 2 picks. Ron, I'm gonna call out a game. You're gonna give me your pick, then I'm gonna give you my pick. Are you ready, my good sir?
Let's get it.
All right. Thursday night, we have the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Rapid fire.
Dolphins.
I'm gonna take the Bills. Sunday night football. Well, not Sunday night football, but Sunday football. We have the Green Bay Packers and the Indianapolis Colts.
Colts.
I take the Colts as well. LA Rams and Arizona Cardinals.
Rams
as well. Pittsburgh Steelers and Denver Broncos.
Steelers
as well, obviously. Cincinnati Bengals and Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs
as well. New Orleans Saints and Dallas Cowboys.
Cowpokes.
Cowboys for me as well. Las Vegas Raiders and Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens
for me as well. New York Giants and the Washington Commanders.
Giants.
I'll take the Commanders in that one. LA Chargers and Carolina Panthers.
Chargers
from
you got Hibbert at quarterback. You don't know what that nigga sometimes.
I got the Commanders. LA Chargers and Carolina Panthers. I said, I called this game, didn't I?
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers. I got the Chargers as well. San Francisco 49ers, Minnesota Vikings.
Niners
for me as well. Cleveland Browns, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars.
I'm going to go to Browns. Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots.
Pats.
I'm going to go Seahawks. New York Jets, Tennessee Titans. Jets as well. For me. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Detroit Lions. That's going to be a good one.
Lions.
I'm going to go Lions. Next up, Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. Texans for me as well. Last up, Monday night game, we got the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. That's easy.
Probably about 25. Like, nigga, I don't know. Like, hopefully that offense got some more cohesion together with Jalen, because they won ugly.
Yeah.
They won that game very ugly.
Now I want to ask.
Do you think that hit on Love was dirty? I can see if he picked the nigga up off his feet, that might have been more cleaner. But you holding his leg on purpose, hoping he turned around.
Yeah, and that shit. Yeah. So, if we're talking early 2000s, like 90s or whatever, that's considered a football play. But considering the NFL banned the high and low tackle, that was a dirty play. I get it. I get it. It's a physical game and all that, but it's unwritten rules and shit you just should and shit you just shouldn't do. So me personally, I definitely felt like that was a dirty play. Granted, I'm glad that it's only MCL sprain and he's only going to be out for a week, but
couple weeks.
Now, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you. Now, we were very high on Aaron Rodgers coming back from his injury, wondering how he was going to look in his first game with the Jets. How do you feel he look? What was your set? This is not rapid fire 45 seconds. This is just how do you feel like Aaron Rodgers looked in his first game back with the Jets?
He definitely looked like he should have played the preseason.
I agree.
Some of that shit would have been figured out. Him and Garrett Wilson will be on a better page. But you can tell they have some type of chemistry. Lazard dropped fucking City. But honestly, bro, give Aaron a good to decent offensive line. No, good to great offensive line. And some receivers that he trusts can catch the ball. They're going to win some ball games. I still feel like they're going to win some ball games. Because that offensive line isn't terrible. They was able to stop the nine, or not stop them, but get some pushback for 3 drives. But that's about it. It's early. I don't think the Jets should panic right now. But the motherfucker that should panic is their head coach. Because, you know what I'm saying? He's sitting in the chair with some boiling water underneath.
I'm not going to make too much of it. I mean, it's his first game back, and his first game back was against the San Francisco 49ers, who's a
top 5 defense.
Like, they're a well-oiled machine. They're top 5 defense. They rush the passer well. So I'm not going to make too much of it. I definitely thought – I thought he looked scared to put weight on that foot. He had that Achilles surgery, and he looked kind of very unsure. Still trying to find his footing, still trying to figure out like how well he can and can't move in the pocket. He definitely looked older, and he definitely looked like he should have played in the preseason. Like this ain't mid-30s, MVP Aaron Rodgers no more. I ain't never seen him lift up. I
wasn't saying that shit 3 years ago though. That's the crazy part. Nobody was saying that shit
because he was still playing at at an MVP level. I ain't never seen Aaron Rodgers pick up his back foot like he was in that Monday night game.
He got to trust it. He's got to get out there and play more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he don't want to play that preseason because I feel you. It's August. It's not September. Fuck this shit. I don't even want to be here, let alone fucking play. But this is why your guys need to play in the preseason, especially the ones that's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
But the reason why he was like that, that offensive line turned to shit.
Shit, they couldn't do nothing.
Turned to shit.
They couldn't do nothing. That's all that was.
So I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. I still think this team is good enough to win ball games and possibly sneak in the wild card. But they are not in an easy division.
No, they're not.
Everybody's going to be a competitive football game.
Yes, sir. I would agree. But anyway, man, that's going to be it for this week's episode. We thank y'all for tuning in. As always, like I said in the beginning, man, like, share, subscribe, comment. Y'all got any fan questions, anything y'all want to ask us so we can get to in the next episode, please ask them. And constructive criticism is always welcome, unless y'all on some bullshit. But anyway, man, looking forward to another, fun-filled football weekend. And as always, Ryan, I will see you this weekend, brother. Much love and be safe.
You too, nigga.
All right.